would you estimate that you killed?
None.
No deer?
No deer, no hogs, no turkey.
Well, you and your wife moved a trailer onto the property.
The prior year.
It still was there in 2017.
Correct.
And you went there to hunt.
I went there to work on my piece of property.
It wasn't your piece of property.
Well, the parcel that I had leased.
To work on it how?
To, cut brush, make shooting lanes so that you can have access to the animals that you're hunting, fill my feeder, which we feed the animals.
What do you feed them for?
To bring them in.
You feed them so they bring them in so that you can shoot them?
Correct.
Good. Are you hunting someplace else?
No, ma'am.
Great. We're done here.
Okay.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,250.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
My opinion's the only one that counts.
Well, she prorated it, so, that's that could be fair, but...
Absolutely. I have text messages that said that he would refund the $2,500 in full.
That guy, he shot, they call him the murderer, okay?
I really don't know, other than Louie and I had some...
He shot more hogs in that ranch and let them lie and rot, and she knew that already, and she could see it in his face.
differences of opinion on the way he managed the ranch.
That's all hearsay because I never had a problem with John or Candy.
Yeah, I've never had a problem with the other hunters on the property.
But all my other hunters did, and they pretty much were like, if they stay, we're going, and I can't have that.
He just didn't like us, I guess.
No, I've been doing this for 17 years, very successful.
Oh, yeah, always going to find another lease.
Absolutely.
At it, and this is the first time I've ever had to go to court.
It is what it is.
Time to move forward.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us tonight for News 40 at 5. I'm Morgan Hoover.
And I'm Chris Allen. Thanks for joining us here at 5 o'clock on a Tuesday evening. And, well, what can I say? Another day, same thing, copy, paste,
Right.
copy, paste.
Same thing. Another hot day.
Yes, very
October.
toasty again out there. Mid-80s once again, as you can see, 85 currently in Bowling Green. Most of you are in the mid-80s. With dew points, though, this has been the saving grace for us today. The dew points have been lower, more into the 50s, so it hasn't felt so humid out there, just toasty warm, and it will continue to feel that way one more day before big changes start to take place. So mainly clear again tonight, mild lows in the 60s. I'll have a look at the rest of the 7-day forecast and that big cool down coming for the weekend in just a few minutes. Morgan?
All right, Chris, our top story tonight, a nationwide test of the emergency alert system. It's happening tomorrow at 1:20 local time, meaning your cell phones will let out a loud siren. The National Network to End Domestic Violence says this could pose a threat to domestic violence victims. While these alerts are invaluable for public safety, they can be dangerous for those who may have hidden cell phones from their abusers. Tomorrow, everyone's cell phones will go off during the emergency testing. The only way to avoid this is by turning off your device. But be aware that once you turn your device back on, that alert will sound. This alert comes during Domestic Violence Awareness Month. If you or someone you know may need help leaving a domestic violence situation, reach out to the national hotline anytime. That number is on your screen. It is 1-800-799-SAFE. Well, in more local news now, the KHSAA is facing a referee shortage after recent incidents involving athletic officials. Incidents like parents verbally and even sometimes physically assaulting game referees. These issues have been prevalent in many sports leagues, whether youth, AAU, or high school sports. News 40 spoke with one local high school official who explained what he thinks is the cause of this shortage, not just in the Commonwealth, but across the U.S.
A lot of people, whether they don't think about it or if it's one of those things they see, unfortunately, some videos, from AAU tournaments here, AAU tournaments there, where you got sports officials being, unfortunately, physically attacked by upset parents and things along those lines.
Several sporting events have had to be rescheduled or even canceled due to this shortage. If you'd like to help out, visit khsaa.org. Well, turning now to a favorite fall activity, the Scarecrow Trail is back for the fall season at Lost River Cave. The trail features a variety of scarecrows made by local businesses and organizations, including one by the librarians at the Warren County Public Library in Smiths Grove.
Printing those out and laminating them was probably the longest process and probably the longest part of the setup, because we weren't able to put them all together here at this library. We had to do it outside when we had it set up.
The trail is open from dawn to dusk 7 days a week until October 22nd. If you're a fan of tea, yoga, and overall well-being, there's a new business near downtown Bowling Green for you. It's called The Healing Spirit. They focus on empowering people to make their own healthy choices. They offer a wide variety of tea leaves. Soon they'll be having workshops on things like yoga and candle making. Ultimately, owners Missy and Guy Craig just want to give back to Bowling Green the way they say the community gave back to them after the tornadoes struck Bowling Green in 2021.
We were a part of the tornado that hit here a couple of years ago, and the trauma that I know I suffered, and I know that everybody else in this town suffered, a lot of healing needed to be made. And so that's where the name Healing Spirit came from.
Today was their opening day, so if you're interested in trying out some of the fresh tea, they are located at 300 College Street in Bowling Green. All happening around the Commonwealth, nearly $14 million will go towards fighting drug abuse across Kentucky. Attorney General Daniel Cameron made the announcement on Monday. A few dozen groups will receive portions of the funding stemming from a massive settlement with opioid companies. The Kentucky Alliance of Boys and Girls Club is receiving $500,000 to boost their drug abuse prevention programs. The grants continue the flow of money to groups specializing in drug prevention, treatment, and recovery services. A project aiming to provide clean drinking water, high-speed internet, education, and affordable housing is announced today. Governor Andy Beshear is unveiling his Better Kentucky infrastructure plan, bringing funding to several projects across the state. With record-breaking economic growth, a historic budget surplus, and the largest rainy day fund in state history, Governor Beshear said the state can and should make these key investments. The governor will present his 2024 and 2026 budget plan to the General Assembly when they convene in January. Well, still to come on News 40 at 5. For many women, the topic of breast cancer can be a frightening one to confront. When we come back, we'll learn why early screenings are critical for your health. More on that in just a bit. But first, Weather Chief Chris Allen is back after the break with a full look at our forecast. He'll tell us when we can expect maybe a cool down coming up after this.
WNKY News 40, broadcasting live from the German American Bank studio in downtown Bowling Green.
Home is more than a house. Wherever you are in your journey of homeownership, German American Bank is here to support you. Our team of dedicated mortgage loan professionals can help you with lending solutions featuring low or no down payment, assistance for closing costs and improvement projects, or even loans specifically for first-time home buyers. We're here to tell you, homeownership is achievable. German American Bank, member FDIC.
I'm attorney Deborah Brose. I am committed to my clients across South Central Kentucky. But don't just take it from me. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I can help. Call our office today for a free consultation.
As a dad, protecting children is my priority. But Governor Andy Beshear's actions are endangering our children. Beshear vetoed a bill that would have protected women by keeping biological men out of girls' sports. Beshear also vetoed a bill that would have protected Kentucky children from gender-mutilating surgeries. Beshear has more in common with California liberals than Kentucky families. Keep Kentucky kids safe. Kick Governor Beshear out of office.
Protect Freedom PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Have you used a drug named Ozempic or Wegovy and are experiencing severe stomach issues? If so, do not delay. You may be entitled to compensation. Visit forthepeople.com or call the number on your screen now. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Sodexo, in partnership with WKU Facilities Management, is looking for custodial workers and custodial team leaders for the WKU main campus. Competitive wages and an excellent benefits package. Both full-time and part-time weekend positions available. Check out all available opportunities by searching Sodexo on Indeed.com or apply directly by scanning the QR code with your phone's camera and become the newest member of the WKU campus community.
Time now for a full look at our forecast with Weather Chief Chris Allen. Chris has just been hard at work in the Weather Center, running in here at the last minute because he's been working so hard.
Oh, you don't have to over-dramatize it. But thank you anyway. Yes, all right. So anyway, oh, here I am. See, thank you guys back there directing. I was like, oh, is me already? It's like, shouldn't be that soon. But anyway, all right. So anyway, so I have been working on trying to look at when we're going to get some rain, because we need that, and when the big cool down is going to happen. Still looks like it's going to happen, but we could use some rain too. And I see some clouds back to the west on the 4-hour clouds and radar together, but the problem is we're not seeing any rain, and we won't see any today, tonight, or even tomorrow. A lot of these clouds will come in late tomorrow and finally put us in the position to get some rain, but the rain really is not going to start for us until about Thursday evening. Until then, we're going to remain dry and warm as it has been, and it's going to look like this. This is a beautiful shot here from Clinton County, just outside of Albany there, and US 127, 85 here in Bowling Green. The wind's coming out of the southeast at 9, 39% relative humidity. And again, the dew points being in the 50s today, that has saved us from getting the really, humid air. So it's felt warm and toasty, but it hasn't been oppressively humid, which is great. 3009 and falling is the barometer reading as that system approaches from the west, and the barometer will continue to fall over the next couple of days. Temperature trend, we noted this last night, but I mean this dip that we're going to see in temperatures going from 86, the mid 80s, through the 70s, down into the low 60s for Saturday and Sunday. Chilly air and not that much recovery. We should be in the mid 70s, about 77 is the average high temperature for this time of the year. We'll get close to that next week at some point, but between now and then, it is just going to stay warm and toasty. And here's a look at between now and 7 a.m. tomorrow. A couple of scattered clouds here and there. Showers just to the west, but again, this is going to run into that big dome of high pressure. So the high pressure is going to start to eat away at some of this, even though there's severe weather going on today in the Central Plains and the upper Midwest. We're not going to see any severe weather by the time this thing gets here. We'll see scattered showers at best, and even that is going to be hard to come by. I think the first time we see showers in Bowling Green in southern Kentucky will be 8 or 9 o'clock Thursday morning, and that's when the better chance comes around. How much? Less than 3/10 of an inch. I mean, it's a drink of water, but it's not going to be enough to help our deficit. The higher amounts of rain are going to be far back to the west of us. So tonight, here we go, another partly cloudy, patchy, foggy type evening, 61. And then tomorrow and the next few days, still warm, but Thursday, as the showers begin late in the day, we'll get a cool down to 78. Better chance of rain Thursday night into Friday. Then there's our chilly weather coming in for Saturday and Sunday. Roller coaster yard sale starts Thursday, runs through Saturday along the Cordell Hull Highway and through Highway 63 and 90. Here's what's coming up tonight on NBC 40.
Are your basement walls bowing or cracked? USS is here to help. Cracks along your basement wall are telltale signs moisture is collecting in the soil against your foundation, causing the weakest point of your wall to bow. USS has the support you need with our innovative Invisibeam. It's the strongest carbon fiber strap on the market and the only one ICC certified with a lifetime warranty. Visit USS-KY.com for a free estimate.
We'll guarantee our best. Call USS.
The $250,000 mega draw is here at the Mint Gaming Hall Bowling Green. Win by matching just one number and match all 6 for $250,000 cash. Drawing Saturdays in October every hour from 5 to 8 p.m. Only at the Mint Gaming Hall Bowling Green.
We already know Andy Bashir is lying about sex change surgery for kids. But what else is he lying about? On jobs, Bashir claims record growth. The truth? Fewer Kentuckians are working today than when Bashir started. And nearly 1 million Kentuckians are living in poverty. On crime, Bashir pushed false reports, omitting 100 murders in Louisville alone. Career politicians like Bashir and Biden lie for a living. But Kentucky knows the truth.
Ford's is celebrating our 87th anniversary with a huge sale. Everything store-wide is on sale, and get up to 72 months no-interest financing. Save on bedrooms to sofas and dinettes to recliners during our anniversary sale going on now at Ford's Furniture.
Join the WNKY News 40 weather team. Visit WNKY.com to become a weather watcher.
I was raped by my stepfather after years of sexual abuse. I was 12. Anyone who believes there should be no exceptions for rape and incest could never understand what it's like to stand in my shoes. This is to you, Daniel Cameron. To tell a 12-year-old girl she must have the baby of her stepfather who raped her is unthinkable. I'm speaking out because women and girls need to have options. Daniel Cameron would give us none.
It's the second most common cancer among women in the U.S. While the annual rate of deaths from breast cancer is declining, it remains the leading cause of cancer deaths among women overall. And early detection is critical to survival.
Kind of looked down and I was like, what is this? It was like a snowball rolling downhill.
In just weeks, Felicia Brown went from finding a lump in the shower to a diagnosis of stage 3 triple-negative breast cancer. After that came 6 months of chemo, then a double mastectomy and radiation treatment.
If it had not have been for me noticing that what I had wasn't there the day before, I probably wouldn't have been here.
The American Cancer Society says early detection is critical. So is knowing your breast cancer risk.
Breast cancer screening is much more than just about your age. It's about your family history, your genetics, if you know them, and your own personal medical history.
When to start screening will depend on your risk. The organization says women at average risk for breast cancer should begin talking to their doctor about the best time to start screenings in their early 40s. By age 45, there should be a mammogram every year.
Grab your girlfriends, support each other in breast cancer screening.
Women at high risk for breast cancer should get a breast MRI and a mammogram every year starting around age 30. And everyone should pay attention to changes in their bodies.
Here I am, almost 17 years cancer-free. And I just continue to just live in that. And I thank God and my family every day.
The American Cancer Society says there are ways to reduce risk of breast cancer. That includes being physically active, maintaining a healthy body weight, and reducing alcohol intake. Well, less than an hour ago, the House Speaker's seat was declared vacant as members of the far right vote to oust former Speaker McCarthy from the role. We'll have more on how members on Capitol Hill reacted when we come back.
Your car's steering wheel could be a literal ticking time bomb. If you or someone you know suffered any injuries involving a deployed airbag, even if your accident was your fault, you could be entitled to compensation. Morgan & Morgan has already recovered millions. Act now and do not delay.
Recovery is strength. Addiction feeds on insecurity and weakness, and it thrives in the dark recesses of the mind. My recovery journey, from detox to present day, has empowered me to go to those dark places and confront what I find there. Recovery showed me a strength I didn't know that I had. and it also allows me to live life on my terms without turning to substances as an escape. For strength against addiction, visit landmarkrecovery.com or call 866-LANDMARK today.
Andy Bashir wants to talk education. His record, Andy closed down our schools. Regular kids still haven't recovered. Fewer than half can read or do math at grade level. I'm Daniel Cameron. As the husband of a teacher, I know we can do better. The Cameron Catch-Up Plan is about supporting our teachers and getting kids caught up. I won't just campaign on education, I'll get it fixed because our teachers and students deserve it.
Do you have what it takes to be the sole survivor? Join WNKY News 40 October 17th for the Survivor Casting Call at Bowling Green Ballpark. To learn more and see if you have what it takes, visit WNKY.com/SokiSurvivor.
If you've been hurt in a wreck, we want to help.
By getting you as much money as we can, as quickly as we can.
If you've been injured in a wreck, before you talk to an insurance company, call Crocker Law Firm.
Call Crocker Law Firm.
It doesn't cost anything to see if we can help.
Hey, Western Kentucky, we look at the last Titans game, we preview the next Titans game. That's the Mike Vrabel Show on CBS 40. Join the coach and the seat geek next.
Sunday mornings on WNKY CBS 40. WNKY News 40 is always on. Visit WNKY.com for your latest in local news, sports, and weather.
The pandemic-era pause on federal student loan payments officially ended on Sunday. Now, millions of Americans have another monthly bill to budget. How can you best navigate those payments in these uncertain economic times, and what could the restart mean for the overall economy?
It's October, which means it's time to start making federal student loan payments again after a more than 3-year reprieve due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Betsy Mayotte of the Institute for Student Loan Advisors says the transition could be challenging for some borrowers.
There's been a lot of changes since the pause started. Things like housing and lettuce are a lot more expensive than they were pre-COVID.
Mayotte recommends borrowers use the loan simulator tool at studentaid.gov to determine which repayment option is best for them. And remember, the Biden administration has instituted an on-ramp plan, a grace period on missed payments through September 2024.
Normally with federal student loans, if you're 90 days delinquent or more, it starts getting reported negatively to the credit bureaus. That's not going to happen during these 12 months.
Interest, however, will accrue. Beyond the on-ramp window, Mayotte says to make plans now to avoid default, which happens if payments are not made for 270 days or about 9 months.
It will have a significant negative impact on your credit report, which can affect other things like buying a house, the interest rates on your credit cards, a car loan, and so on. So default really should be avoided at all costs.
Borrowers in default on federal student loans could also see their federal tax refund or even a portion of their paycheck withheld.
Well, hundreds more auto workers are losing their jobs. General Motors and Ford announced they are laying off 500 workers. Between the two automakers, GM is laying off 164 workers at stamping plants in Ohio and Indiana. Workers there aren't on strike, but the metal parts they stamp are sent to assembly lines that have been impacted by the strike. Ford is laying off 330 workers at a stamping plant in Chicago and engine plant in Ohio. It comes after GM already laid off more than 1,800 workers, and Ford let 600 go. United Auto Workers Union leaders say the manufacturers are only doing it to put pressure on its members to resolve the strike quickly. The automakers say the layoffs are due to slowdowns in the manufacturing process caused by the strikes. Workers at a distribution center in Memphis continue to walk the picket lines as part of the United Auto Workers strike. Workers say their motto is one day longer, one day stronger. It's been about 3 weeks since auto workers walked off the job. The hourly employees say they want to increase their pay and decrease the amount of overtime they're required to work. The plant manager says the overtime hours are worked voluntarily. She says she believes that the 21% pay increase GM is offering is a good deal.
When you look at our historic offer that's on the table, it addresses the concerns from our hourly employees, right? Historic wages increases, job security have been the top issues that I've heard from my membership.
Auto workers on the picket line say their position has not changed since they walked out on September 22nd.
Fair contract looks like a fair work week, fair pay, good benefits, health and safety, job security, all of the above, just what a normal human being deserves to be an American.
Along with a pay increase, GM is adding Juneteenth as a paid holiday, 2 weeks of paid parental leave, and up to 200 hours of paid vacation. The strike has hit its targets. The strike against the big three automakers cost $3.95 billion in the first 2 weeks. That's up significantly from the $1.6 billion in losses in the first week. The second week added 38 General Motors and Stellantis plants to the 3 Ford, GM, and Stellantis plants already on strike. Upwards of 18,000 auto workers are now on the picket lines, making the second week costlier than the first. And as the UAW strikes continue, there's some encouraging news about new U.S. car sales. General Motors reported a 21% jump in sales during the third quarter compared to last year. This despite those strikes, inflation, and high interest rates. GM says it is selling more vehicles in part because the supply of cars and trucks is greater than it was in 2022. Stellantis, which sells Jeep, Ram, and Chrysler vehicles, reported a 1% drop in sales. Ford is expected to release its figures tomorrow. Forecasters expect Ford will report an 8% increase in sales. And in national news tonight, Senator-designate LaFonza Butler makes history as she was sworn in by Vice President Kamala Harris. She will complete the term of the late Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein. Butler becomes the first lesbian black woman to join Congress in U.S. history. She will also be the sole black female senator serving in Congress and just the third in U.S. history. Butler most recently led Emily's List. It's a group focused on electing Democratic women supporting abortion rights. Tonight, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is voted out as the Speaker of the House. And at the same time, Congress needs to work on a bill to fund the government for the next year. NBC's Alice Barr is on Capitol Hill with more details.
The yeas are 208. The nays are 218.
A far-right Republican rebellion coming to a head today in the U.S. House of Representatives. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy's job in peril.
I continue to work through it.
After Florida Republican Matt Gaetz called for a vote to oust him.
Chaos is Speaker McCarthy. Chaos is somebody who we cannot trust with their word.
After months of threats, the hardliner moved to topple his own party's leader, accusing McCarthy of breaking promises to Republicans by working with Democrats to stave off a government shutdown and making a secret side deal on Ukraine funding. A defiant McCarthy denies that.
At the end of the day, if you throw a speaker out that has 99% of their conference, that kept government open and paid the troops, I think we're in a really bad place for how we're going to run Congress.
Before the vote, there was much speculation over who would be in McCarthy's corner.
95% of the Republican conference supports Kevin McCarthy.
But with a razor-thin House majority, a handful of hard-right Republicans are all it takes to oust the Speaker. And after a 2-hour closed-door meeting, House Democratic leadership signaled they would not step in to save his job.
In the chaos, in the dysfunction, in the extremism, we are ready, willing, and able to work together with our Republican colleagues, but it is on them to join us to move the Congress and the country forward.
Political drama on Capitol Hill while House leadership and the people's business hangs in the balance. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Well, stay with us. We'll have a final look at your forecast coming up right after this.
Geez. Hey, Trent. What's going on? You've been here for 7 hours.
I'm having problems with this thing. I'm coming back tomorrow.
I should have called JB. Trent. Gee.
Should have called JB Electric. At JB Electric, when it comes to electricity, we don't mess around. Make the right call. Call JB Electric.
WNKY News 40 loves celebrating our viewers. That's why we bring you Soki's Birthday Club. Joining the club is free and simple. Visit WNKY.com/birthday, fill out the form, and click Submit. That's it. Your name will appear on News 40 Sunrise and News 40 at noon on your birthday, and you'll be entered to win a special birthday surprise. WNKY News 40 loves celebrating you because local matters. Soki's Birthday Club is brought to you by these great sponsors.
Nice. DraftKings Sportsbook is live in Kentucky. You'll be so dialed into every play that you forget to eat your wings. You made my wings cold, DraftKings. Flailing your arms like you can disrupt the free throw. Miss, fool! And a home run will have you crying like it's the birth of your child. I'm so happy.
DraftKings Sportsbook is live in Kentucky. New customers, download the app now and bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Because life's more fun when you're in on the action. The crown is yours.
Yeah.
I usually vote Republican, but I'm also voting for Andy Beshear. I definitely feel that Kentucky's moving forward under Andy's leadership. He brings great ideals to the floor. Andy's the guy that's been bringing the two parties together. Beshear's brought a lot of good jobs to the state of Kentucky. He makes sure that the police have everything they need to keep us safe. Andy cut the income tax. That's a big deal, huge deal. I voted for Trump because I felt he was putting the American people first. I'm going to support Andy because I do feel he's putting Kentucky first.
You never know who you're helping by sharing your story. And black people think y'all look alike. You can be our son.
I love Jennifer.
Weekdays at 2 on NBC 40.
Pots. Speaking of jackpots, the Powerball jackpot now stands at over $1 billion. Chris and I, we were just talking about what we would do if we won this money. No one won last night, so you still have another chance in tomorrow's drawing. The grand prize is estimated at $1.2 billion.
Even a tenth of that.
Right, just
10%,
share a little bit.
Just a yeah. Yeah, I'm sure I'm kin to somebody who wins.
Right.
Yeah, just trace that family tree. We'll,
right.
We'll figure it all out. All right, tonight, low 60s, and then tomorrow back into the mid 80s. Chilly weather comes later this weekend.
All right, Chris, we'll see you at 6 over on CBS.
Says that my colleagues and I who don't